Hello and welcome to a special edition of A Perfect Match. I'm Asia, and along with my co-host Jason, we covered the show Married at First Sight. We have been covering it on this network since season 12. So we've had a lot to talk about these past years, and we've seen me and Jason have seen every single season. So we go way far back with Married at First Sight. We love it so much. We love talking about it. And this week, we have a very special guest with us. If you watch Married at First Sight, then you know this amazing person. So we have Pastor Cal Roberson. How are you?
Hello, Asia. How are you? It's a pleasure to be with you guys today.
Yes, we're so happy to have you.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine.
Pastor Cal, this is a big get for us. Like Asia said, we've been watching you for years. Just a little background about us. I actually binged like the first 12 seasons in probably a 3 to 4 month span after
Oh my
being
gosh.
turned on to the show by Asia. So I've been with you for a few years. Asia's been with you for years and years and years.
Oh
So
wow.
it's a big thrill for us to get to talk to you and get to
Very cool. It
you know
only
Yeah.
matters after season 3. Season 4 and on are the only
exactly.
ones that really
Yeah,
matter.
exactly,
No.
exactly. Those are
Exactly.
lame seasons. It didn't get spiced up, but
No,
there's something happened in season 4. I don't remember what it
something
was.
changed.
Something happened. Yeah,
That's, that's when I felt the earth shake that season. And
it's
I
a
was like,
switch
what
up.
is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, we're so excited to talk to you about a few things today. Definitely don't want it to go unsaid that we have an amazing community that listens to our podcast. We actually started a Facebook group for the people that listen to our podcast, just so we could talk about the show every week. And it's a Perfect Match podcast. And we this week we just hit 1,000 members in that Facebook group,
Yay.
and so they're very excited to just hear everything. And so we definitely want to talk about the fact that you have an app coming out, Marriage Ain't for Punks.
I
So
know, right?
so
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about this app. Like it seems like a one-stop shop for anyone who's looking for marriage or needs guidance in their marriage. So just
Yeah.
tell what are you doing, Pastor Cal?
I know.
What are you up to?
I know
You
what am I up
scamp.
to. It's funny because my wife Wendy and I, we've been counseling couples probably for about 15 years together. I've been doing it for longer, about 20, 25, I guess. And so what's interesting is that we get so many requests from people who want counseling, who want advice, etc. And we just cannot handle all those requests. So one morning I woke up and I said, honey, what do you think of what if we do this? What if I do this? It just came to me while I was sleeping. Let's have one app with 3 applications. So that's an app for married people where they can get marriage advice and encouragement and join other marriage groups and talk to them about, some of the trials of marriage, etc. Then for people who are in committed relationships who are not yet married but are thinking about it, because they may have different issues and different challenges and might need different resources. And then people who are single, not married, but are marriage minded. They want to be married. So we develop an app. We were so fortunate, so blessed to be able to find a developer who actually created the first iteration of Alexa. He's yes. And so we found him, and he's been working with us in the development of it, and we launched it in August. And it's one app with 3 applications. It's not a dating app. It's a matchmaking app for single people. We're not swiping. There's no meat market. In fact, our motto is we're going from the meat market to the mate market.
Okay.
All right, all
That-
right.
that's actually catchy.
So so
Hey,
Pastor
go ahead.
Pastor Cal, let's just hypothetically, right?
Okay.
This app. Let's say there was like I'm trying to think. Like let's say it's a woman, um, around 32 years old-ish. uh,
Mm.
Houston, Texas area, right?
Mm.
Single, loves her dogs, like is kind of obsessed with her dogs. This would
Mm.
be a good place for her to go and maybe seek like, someone that maybe also loves dogs. Like how does the matchmaking process work? Do we take
Yeah.
similar interests? Do we take different aspects? What are we doing here?
Yeah, and for someone who's like 32 and loves her dogs from Houston. I don't know who that could possibly be.
Name
But
is
for
name is
someone,
reminiscent to a continent, but
yeah, I
it's
was
not.
thinking about that.
But
Is
for
it,
some reason not spelled like the
would that
continent.
be
We still don't know.
America?
Australia?
Yeah,
You
we don't know.
know,
Probably that.
Europe,
you're right.
yeah,
No, but for someone
like our
like the
named
lovely,
person. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
like let's say for instance, someone like the lovely Asia,
yeah. Someone like that.
someone
Yeah.
like her. Okay, if the app actually, the reason that we do not have swiping is because we want to do values-based matching. So in order for people to be matched on the app, you're actually going to have to go through a questionnaire, and we're going to, it's a very creative thing that we're doing, and we're still working out kinks, et cetera, but we want you to find out what your values are. What are the principles that you live by? What are those changeable things, whether it's family, whether it's commitment, whether it's career or what have you? What are those things that drive you? And then we want to match other people based on their compatibility, but also their compatible differences.
Okay.
And so we take those people and then we match you and we give you coaching along the way so that you don't screw it up. All right.
Right.
So as far as what does a first date look like? What are things not to say on a first date? You know, for instance, I mean, so what do you make? No,
No.
no, no,
Oh,
no,
Asia, Asia.
no. I'm not. That wouldn't be you, Asia, would it?
No, not at
Okay,
all.
absolutely.
Right, right.
So that's what we're doing. We're trying to change the game. Like I said, we want people to be mated for
Yeah.
a long time. And if you're looking for a place just to Netflix and chill or smash and dash or
Ooh,
whatever, this
whoa,
is not
smash
it.
and
I know
dash.
I said that.
That's the first. That's the first time I've heard that one. You
I,
you hipping me on the new stuff, Pastor
I
Cal.
know.
Oh my.
Putting us
Right.
on.
This is not the app for that. But it's
Uh,
and then
Gotcha.
so many marriage resources. We're excited about it.
yeah.
I
So
like
like,
that because, yeah, it does sound very innovative because that was going to be one of my questions was how do you differentiate yourselves from other dating apps because there's so many dating apps out there, right? Like
Oh my God.
you get on and it's same thing. Whether you swipe left, swipe right, whatever, check a box, X,
Yeah.
so what makes it different? So
Right.
that's what makes, I guess, this format is how that people are marriage minded that are coming to this
Absolutely.
app. Okay.
so
Absolutely. And also, the fact that when you onboard the app, you have to choose, as I said earlier, which direction you're going to go into. And it's not just one big hodgepodge. The single people actually have their own section of the app. The married people have their own section of the app. So, and we don't intermingle the married with the single.
Yeah.
And
Good.
great, that's a good thing.
that's important.
And once you get married, then you don't have to get rid of the app. You just go into the
Transition to the
transition
We're, we're
other
not
side
we're,
of
we're
it.
not going to get into a fight like you've seen on Married at First Sight. Like, why do you have this app on your phone? Well,
Right.
it's going to
No.
help us when we get married. That's why the app's on there, of course.
Well,
But so Pastor
yeah.
Cal, like, so I'll get specific with this one.
Yeah.
For me, I've been married for a little over 10 years now. Like,
Yay.
what
Right.
thank you so much. What does your app bring to people like me and my wife, and how does your app serve us?
The beauty in that is that irrespective of how long you've been married, there's something in the app for you. For instance, with your marriage age, being in it for 10 years, you probably have children.
Yes, one.
Okay, you have a child, so you're going to get parenting tips. If by the time you get to that age, what do I do about buying a house, or what are some of the conflicts that people at our age have, in our marriage category have. For instance, the older we get, our parents get older. We want to have information about aging parents, and then how do we as a couple create goals together? You're at the point where your child now you have 1 year old, probably just a baby still, and maybe not a baby. I don't know how old you
Oh,
do.
I have a full grown teenager. I have a
Full-grown
15-year-old.
teenager,
Yeah.
right? And so now he's at an age where you're thinking about probably him being at the house eventually. Yeah,
Her and yes.
her, and yes,
Can't
right.
come soon enough, Pascal. Can't come soon enough. I'll just say that. I'll
So
I'll leave it at that.
then we want to offer information on empty nesting. Now, the
Mhm.
beauty is we have a section on the app called Ask Pastor Cal, which is an AI. My entire body of work of the last 25, almost 30 years is actually in the app. And when you ask Pastor Cal a question on anything, it could be on parenting, et cetera, you'll get an AI answer, a text or audio answer, and soon to come, a video answer from me. Okay, on any of those topics. So there's a lot there for people who are married, and also you get
Yeah.
to connect with other groups and other married people from
Right.
different areas also.
So it's
Question.
Sure.
With the video stuff, is there a way that when I type something in and submit it, I can just get a video of you doing your take the glasses off and just
Right.
these people.
Now because it's going to be an AI representation, not necessarily. But here's the beauty in that. Here's the beauty of that, Jason. A part of what we're doing in the app also is we're having live events. So this is the one. I don't know if there are other apps out there like that. But one thing that I've seen is that one thing that we're doing is also you have the ability to. There's a little button that flashes, says live, and I'm going to come on live and actually speak to audiences, speak to people. And also we're going to have groups where I'm actually talking to people live. And then one last thing, because I could go on all day about this, is that we also have the ability to create your own love story for married people. And that's so cool. But it's a very innovative feature we have that was brought to us by a company that's joining with us, and it's going to be really exciting. So we're looking forward to that.
That is amazing.
awesome.
Like this, not only is this a place, like you said, it's 3 apps in one, but it's also a place to just build a community. Like
Oh yeah.
there's so much potential here. Everybody go search Marriage Ain't for Punks. It can meet us at all stages.
Yeah, I
Go
love this
search it
app.
in your app store.
I love this app that can grow with you, right? Like
Yeah, absolutely.
that's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's amazing. So I mean, obviously, you've been in this field of work for so many years.
Yeah, it's been
But,
a few.
yeah, but about 10 years ago, you started this work on or less than within the last 10 years. You've
Right.
started this work on this show that we know you from is Married at First Sight. And so we're curious how like what's your origin story? How did you become an expert on Married at First Sight?
Wow. What I like to tell people is that, I was doing this. I was counseling couples long before Married at First Sight. In fact, my wife and I, we were, as I mentioned, we had been counseling couples, and we started because we're second timers. Okay. First time we got married young and dumb. And so, colossal failures. And so by the time, we got a little age, a little wisdom, we found each other. And the one thing that we wanted to do immediately was to help couples avoid some of the same challenges that we had experienced in our previous situations. And so we started marriage groups. And we were doing some very straightforward, raw, confrontational type of counseling with couples. Well, that kind of grew and grew, and we were doing conferences in different places and throughout the US. And we had an online presence. And then one day we got an email from a casting agent who wanted us to help them find a couple for one of their shows. We thought, it's scam, just spam, whatever. But then we looked again and said, wait a minute, this might be something. So we contacted them, and it was legit. So we did suggest a couple that was in real crisis, that were actually in a pre-divorce situation, because they had some water under the bridge that was pretty much drowning them. And so we said, okay, fine, use these people. If you can get them any help, great. Well, they went on the show and they were talking so much about our counseling sessions that they wanted to film us in a session. And so as they were filming Wendy and I in a session, unbeknownst to us,
It was your audition.
Right, it was an audition, and there was a cameraman and one of the producers were all texting the EP, the executive producer, saying, you got to see this couple, you got to see this couple, you got to, and so we were just like, look, we're not doing this for TV. This is a counseling session. Don't cut. Don't tell us to stop. Don't do any of that. Okay, we're going to do this thing. And so we did it. And afterwards, we were contacted by the president of the production company, by the EP, and then later on by him. And they asked us if we would be interested in working with the franchise. And so I said, okay, if you're interested, if it's real, and if it seriously supports marriage, I'm interested. And I found that it was. So that was my start in the show. I didn't go
Had you heard
after
of it? Had you heard of the show beforehand? Were you aware of it, or was this new to you?
I had seen it, but after they introduced it to me, I went back to look at it which was a good thing because they asked me, "What would you do differently?" And I told them, I said, first of all, because there are a lot of black couples, well, you had a couple, you need a counselor who can relate to them.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Yeah,
And
Very
so that
true.
was one thing. I said, yeah, you don't have anybody on
that's
there. The
important.
black experience is a little different. So this is what I noticed about the show was that for all the black couples, I know there was a black couple in the first season and the third season. And after I watched it, I said, wait a minute, but you don't have any counselors who can relate to them because that experience is a little different in the black community. I mean, there's some nuances that they need to, that you need to pick up on. And so as we talked about it, we found that he said, you know what, that's good. And secondly, they didn't have anybody who consistently counseled couples. They had therapists, they had psychologists, qualified people,
Yeah.
but no one who was in consistent couples counseling. And I think that that was a big deal. And then as a spiritual advisor, they wanted me to be, the religious person on the show. And they had one, but he was an atheist. And so not that I got no problem with atheists, y'all do, but still, it was just a little different. And so I think that those things kind of endeared me to them rather.
That's fantastic. Well, Pastor Cal, we're in season 18 now.
Boy, we are, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's wild.
With obviously without spoiling anything, we're 3 episodes in. We haven't seen you or the experts come on yet, but we're awaiting that moment.
Happen.
Yeah. What can you tease for us about season 18? Obviously, without spoiling anything. Are we in for some fireworks this season?
Well, you know what? Fireworks are inevitable. It's like we don't look for fireworks. I hate it when people say that we put people together just for the drama because we do not. It's like all you need to do is turn a camera on to Jason, you're married.
Yeah.
Imagine if I put a camera in your house for like a week.
I mean, listen, it wouldn't get to some levels I've seen on the show, but you definitely wouldn't want to see us at our worst moments. Like we would not want that, and especially in a pressurized situation that your couples are in. They're strangers, basically. They're just meeting together. They're living together 24/7. So yeah, obviously there's going to be pressure and fireworks in those situations. Yeah.
So what we can expect this season, first of all, is I'm really impressed with this couple. I'm not going to talk about the previous season, but I'm really impressed with this season. And a lot of the couples, what we found is that, first of all, Chicago is an incredible city. I love Chicago in the summertime.
It's y'all second time there. It's y'all second time there, yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I love the fact that these are couples who I believe are really looking for something serious. They're looking for it's not about just being on TV for them. They really are looking for marriage. Now, does that mean they listen to us all the time? No. Does that mean
we've seen it? Yeah.
Right. Does that mean they're doing the things necessary to make their marriages work all the time? No. But I do believe that we have people who really want it this time, as opposed to playing games or what have you. And you're going to see almost every emotion that you could imagine in this season. There's going to be excitement. There's going to be comedy, lots of it. There's going to be drama. What other movie genres can I think of? It's like...
Is there romance and love?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay. That's what I'm always looking
you
for.
said that so passionately. Yeah.
Like, here's the thing, Pastor Cal.
Romance and love.
Here's the thing, Pascal. This is what makes me and Asia's dynamic work. Asia is here for the romance, the love. I'm here for the drama and the mess. That's what I'm here for. So I think that's what makes our partnership work.
She loves love.
Yeah, yes. And I love mess. Right. I like love, but I love mess. That's all I like to say.
I love when the couples are boring and just in love and it just works. Yeah. Like Woody and Amani, love them. They're not boring, but it just works. Yeah.
Yeah. And we are so happy when that happens. And I can say that you're going to see romance. You're going to see mature romance.
That's good.
Yeah, you're going to see that. You're going to see some petty stuff too, but you're going to see mature romance. So, Jason,
I love the petty.
your appetite will be satisfied.
Fantastic. I love to hear it.
Well, that's so I guess on that note, so what makes because you have a different set of people here, a more mature set, we definitely noticed that this is an older cast, skewed older than some previous seasons. How do y'all weed that out, that someone is genuinely here for marriage or they're just going through the motions because they want to be on reality TV?
Oh my gosh, that is probably one of the toughest challenges we have. We try to weed it out early. Normally, people who are, well, I've been on The Bachelor, or I've been on, this, or I've been on Love Island. Red flag. It's like, look,
They're like, that was
no,
my start.
exactly. It's like, so when they come in as though they're auditioning, and they're saying all the right things. I mean, honestly, our vetting process is pretty intense. We vet these people for about 3 to 4 months before we make choices. And so we take them through the ringer. They have to fill out a 75-question questionnaire just to get started. Then after that, they have to fill out another 400 some questions, so we can find out everything about them. And then we, have these lists of all their qualities and their possible compatibilities. Then they meet us, and we go through the ringer. We meet them in their homes. And so when people say, well, okay, let me say this. By the time you see it on TV, you're seeing us doing the matchmaking. You're like, well, they're matching them because they love dogs? Are they matching them? No, no, it's not just that. We've been doing this for months. They can't put all that on TV.
Yeah.
You're just seeing
that's like the boring stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the boring stuff. You're seeing a snippet of all that we do. So no, the matches are based on so much more.
Do y'all hear that out there? Pastor Cal is sick of hearing your nonsense complaining. Like, it's much more involved, much more. They used to have like big ball. They used to have a big ballroom thing where you would just weed through applicants. They still do that, or is there more of a pared down process nowadays?
I think we're going to, without saying a lot, that is something that we're looking at doing again, because what really stopped us was COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the big, and I loved going in front of the entire group and doing that. We saw great value in that. And then of course we had to pare down quite a bit. But I do think that's something that we're going to be getting back to. So if you haven't seen it for this season, going forward, you're going to see some changes.
Great. Love that.
So you've worked on, we talked about up front that you started working on this season 4. So, being at season 18, you have seen a lot of couples at this point.
Yes.
What if I know it's like picking children, maybe, but if you had to pick a favorite season that you enjoyed working on,
gosh,
which season would you pick?
That question, right? A favorite season? It's easier to tell you one of my least favorite, but a favorite.
we want give us that.
You said that's the Jason. Yeah, that's the Jason.
That's the drama answer. Yeah, that's
the drama answer. My favorite season. I can tell you my favorite couples.
Okay.
Because
yes.
I can tell you some of that. Some of my favorite, because honestly, all the ones who are still together are my favorite.
Yeah.
But
we figured.
Yeah. Some of the ones who stand out are Vinny and Brianna from Atlanta.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love them and their babies. I've hung out with them since we're all here. We've gone to dinner. I've seen their babies. It's just so rewarding. Greg and Deanna.
Yeah.
Yes.
Greg and Deanna from Charlotte.
I think they're one of the most underrated couples, success couples, because they're not very out there. But when you do see them, it's like, man, these two are just so in love.
They just work. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Deanna told me this. She said that when we were interviewing her, she said, whoever's standing at the end of that aisle, we're going to be married forever.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And I love that it wasn't instantaneous. They had to work at it.
Yeah,
to work at it.
And that was one of my favorite couples, my most underrated couple. So I love that was your answer there.
Yeah, and also Anthony and Ashley from Chicago.
Yeah,
they are incredible.
They're thriving.
One of the others that's underrated is Bobby and Danielle.
Yeah,
from Dallas. I
Yes.
love that little guy. Bobby's a good
Not
dude.
that little guy, Pastor Cal.
That's what I call
Oh
that
my.
little dude, man. Bobby's a good guy. He's just a Southern gentleman. He was.
And he
We
loved her.
thought that he was too young,
Yeah.
but he takes care of his family. He's just an awesome dude.
Yeah, he loved her from jump.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, that was one of those couples that were like, okay, they're saying yes on decision day. We
Yep.
know it. So
Yeah, right, exactly.
we're just
And
going
then
through
there's some others
emotions.
that I can't even think. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Right. You mentioned Woody and Amani, of course.
Yeah.
You know, they're like our star couple. There's like Beyonce and
Oh,
Jay-Z.
yeah.
You know?
And
So
they are amazing.
so Pastor Cal, we've got the good. We got the good. We want one couple or individual that made you the most frustrated by the time the process is over. And you cannot say Chris from
Oh
from that
man.
season. That's the easy.
Season
That's the
12.
easy out. That's the
That's
easy
low
out.
hanging fruit,
Yeah,
right?
that's the easy out. Give us one other either couple when y'all went to the end and they said divorce. You were like, y'all were supposed to work. Y'all should have worked. Or the one person that failed so miserably at their task. You were like, what were you even doing here?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. One couple that was who I believe could have worked is, oh my Lord, I'm trying to think of names now. It's
Yes. What's the city?
from
We're encyclopedias. Give us
I know, right?
descriptions.
Iris and Key. I thought they were a beautiful looking couple. I thought that they were great together. We had such high hopes for them. And we gasped when he said no. I mean, you couldn't hear it, but it was a collective
Yeah.
because we thought for sure that they were gonna go the distance. But we know why they didn't. And we get it now.
When you're doing things like that. So in Iris and Key's specific example, it seemed that he was uncomfortable with the fact that she was a virgin.
Yeah.
Does that inform you guys going forward to say, okay, we definitely got to make sure that this person is okay with this? Because there are things I'm sure every season that y'all see that are new to you. And like, oh, okay, going forward, we got to look into that.
Yeah, we have actually altered quite a bit of things based on experiences that we've had from previous seasons, and that's one. I'll give another example. Yeah, where someone's a virgin, is like, ah, but if I'm sorry, virgins, but
oh my gosh,
yeah, sorry.
Shout out to all the virgins out
Iris.
there.
I absolutely love Iris, and
Iris is killing it. She's killing it.
She's
Hallmark
thriving
movie.
right now.
Killing it.
And I respect her commitment and her stand on virginity. It's for her. It's a moral stand, and I can only respect that. But for instance, there are others who I believe are too young. You know, like when and we thought they were going to make it, and I think San Diego. I can't think of his name again. I'm going blank because 18.
I was thinking you were thinking Dom and
Dom.
Yes.
Oh, you guys are fans.
I was thinking Zach and Michaela.
Oh my God. You're giving me PTSD. Yeah. But Zach and Michaela. I told Zach that he sucks as a husband. I actually
did.
And he actually did. He
Yeah.
was a bad husband. So no, okay, no, not you know what? I'm not thinking of Zach. They were bad. But no, I'm thinking of the other couple in Charlotte. Very handsome guy. And
what's her name? Katie?
Yeah,
and Derek? What's his name?
Oh, Zach and Mindy.
Mindy, yes. Mindy
Okay.
and her husband.
Yeah, there's
Mindy
Zach and Mindy, Amber and Matt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also Matt. Oh my God.
Matt was in the Hall of Fame. He's in the Hall of Fame.
He is the Hall of Fame. You know, I mean, when we think about Chris, you think about Matt. You know, it's like, oh my God.
There's a couple other ones up there, Pascal.
It's a couple up there. But I'm not trying to trash anybody.
Yeah, no.
We know.
As human beings, I think that they're all decent people. As husbands, mostly husbands and wives. Now, there's some wives also that we've had some challenges with. You know, everyone is not ready.
Yeah.
You know, for this kind of experiment and this kind of intensity. Everyone's just not ready. They think they are, but when the lights come on and the pressure comes on, it's like, You know, we can vet all we want. We can do all the questionnaires, all the psychological evaluations. We take them through 2 testings of psych evals. And then after all that, the lights come on and the cameras come on and they lose their minds. It's like, who
Yeah.
are these humans?
Right.
Who are these people? So
Yeah. It is a wild phenomenon. But so we do have one more question.
sure.
So we told like I mentioned, our Facebook group, we told them that we were going to be speaking with you. And one of our most popular comments when we talked to them was it centered around just the experts and y'all's interactions with the contestants. And so, like, can you talk a little bit about like how it's determined, like which couples you spend time with, and like how many times that you get to visit them and
Yeah,
intervene?
and that's a great question because we've been questioned about how much we are actually spending time with the couples. A lot of a lot of the time we spend you don't see. It's off camera. I've spent I remember being with couples up to like 2 a.m. You know, talking, get a phone call at midnight. Pastor Gal, can you talk to so and so? Okay, fine.
Yeah. Can
Um,
I ask you a tangent question?
sure.
What's the most, let's say you get an emergency Pastor Cal call. What's the most mundane thing you've been doing when you get those calls? Like, I think there was one season where you were like in your car, and I was like,
We're like,
did
he
they
has to be
call?
golfing.
Yeah, they call Pascal. He was golfing. He was like on the 17th hole. They're like, Pastor Cal, we need you. He's like, oh my gosh. All right, let me get in my car and take
I
this
know,
call.
right?
What's some of the most like what are you doing when you get these calls? Like, are you grocery shopping and you're like,
I,
I gotta go take a call?
that is such an interesting question. I think I was actually going to the grocery store on that call. I know exactly which one you're talking about. I think I was headed to the grocery store, and then I mean, it's been the most inopportune. One time I was at dinner with friends,
Mm.
and I was like, oh God, okay, fine. Excuse me, guys. And I went out trying to
Like,
find a quiet place.
like, sorry guys, I gotta go talk to Lauren and Ryan. I'll be right back.
Right, right.
Again.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, but you know what? Look, if I can do something to help them, and that's not it's not just me. Dr. Pepper gets those calls.
Yeah.
Dr. Pia now she does, as well as our previous experts. You know, Dr. Jessica and Dr. Viviana. They all would get those calls,
Mm-hmm.
and because we all tend to form some kind of. Sometimes it's like you know, a familiarity with the couples, and they gravitate towards some of us more than others. You know, the
Yeah.
guys sometimes, a lot of times, want to talk to me, and sometimes they even have these father images. You know, they want to talk to you about things, and it becomes almost like a familial situation.
Yeah.
So
I didn't want to
I
distract you
don't mind.
from our other question, but so when you guys are in the season, are you constantly adjusting how often you have to visit, or is it a set thing of like this is how many visits are going to do each season, or how does that typically go?
Well, there is a template. We do have, um, you know, if you're going to run a show like this, it has to be pretty turnkey.
Yeah.
And so there are, okay, we know that we're going to do visits here, there. We're going to do visits. We're going to have certain things that we're going to do. But during those set times that we're going to visit, there are times that things will come up. And so we'll
Mm-hmm.
be like, okay, fine. Well, you know, can you come and talk to them before that because some special issues have arisen, or can you let's talk to them on a Zoom, or let's do something. So there are a number of times, and I think that probably sometimes the in between times
Yeah.
are even more than the scheduled times.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, so it's but you know we do. One thing that I love about this show is that everyone, and I mean everyone, from the EP to the producers to the line producers to the APs to you name to the PAs, everybody is rooting for these couples.
Yeah.
And it really
Mm-hmm.
is so cool because each couple's producer is like, I'm trying, okay, I want them to succeed so bad. And I see these people, I see these producers getting their hearts so involved in these couples' success,
Yeah.
you know, and then we have to convince the couples, wait, they are on your side. If they're
Yeah.
asking you to talk, it's because you need to talk this out. You know, it's really a whole, it's a very collegial type of atmosphere for the crew, and we're all
Yeah.
trying to make these people happy and give them what they want.
So
Yeah.
I think what
Speaking of, I was
I'm
going to
sorry.
say, speaking of the
Yeah.
crew, one of the jokes we like to make, it goes all the way back to season 10 with Mika and Michael, where she's like, Montre, So-
We call Montre all the time when an issue arises between Asia and I. We try and call Montre. I need you to help me
Oh
with
my
Asia.
God, that's my buddy. Yeah,
yeah.
I love Montre.
Yes.
She's like, yeah, I remember.
Oh,
Gosh.
that was oh
Nick
my
and
gosh.
Classic.
Michael, that's a whole. But there
Oh.
are so many couples I didn't even mention. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
So what I
But-
got from you, Pastor Cal, from that was that there are times we don't see where the experts are talking to our couples. Like it's not just what we see on
Right.
TV that's happening. There are more times you guys are spending with the couples that just can't
Oh
be
my
shown
God.
for a multitude of reasons. I think
Yeah.
that's what we and a lot of the people that are watching this should take from this is that the visits we see aren't the only visits.
No, not in the least bit. Not in the least bit. Montre still calls me now. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
if I because Montre's now he's the executive producer now.
That's
But
amazing.
since Mika, he's gone on to
Risen,
run
yeah.
things. But what's interesting is that I will get calls all the time, just to, can you talk to this person? Can you talk to that person? They want to
Mhm.
talk to you. They
Yeah.
want to, just air, they need this direction. We talk so much to these couples, and honestly, if they only aired the times that we talk to them, it would change the show.
Yeah.
Because you
Totally.
you want to see the couples. You get to see us
Right.
talking to them all the time.
Yes. 100%.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, this has been amazing, Pastor Cal. Thank you
Oh, it's been
so
a lot of
much.
fun. You guys
Pastor-
are awesome.
Yeah,
Hey.
Pastor Cal, before we let you go, as we mentioned, we do have a Facebook group. Our Facebook group, we give a new password every week for our Facebook group to get in because we want to make sure only fans get in that listen to the podcast. So we don't have bots coming into our Facebook group infiltrating. I wonder if you can give us a password for those that are watching or listening to this interview to get into the Facebook group just off this interview. We'll know that they are coming to us from this interview. Give us, it could be a word, it could be a phrase, it could be anything.
The phrase to get into the Facebook is "Marriage ain't for punks."
There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah, so go to Facebook, search Perfect Match Podcast, and put in Marriage Ain't for Punks, and we will let you in this week. Or whenever you listen to this podcast. If we see we remember the passwords roughly.
If we get it 7 days after, we're not letting you in.
I mean, there are so many episodes every season, so sometimes people will start back at the beginning of the season. We're on episode 20, and I'm like, was that a password? I can't remember.
Right.
But make sure you go join the Facebook group. Also, if you are listening to this for the first time, you're just getting to know us, you want to listen to our recaps of Married at First Sight, go subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed. That's where you can get all of our podcasts about Married at First Sight. We also just covered season 7 of Love is Blind, and we talk about other reality shows. So
Pascal, you watching Love is Blind? What's your you a Love is Blind guy?
I do. I like Love is Blind. Actually, I just did a podcast on one of their one of the previous couples. But I love the show. We're the same production company.
Yeah.
You guys are like cousins. Yeah.
Yeah, we're like cousins. So yeah,
Right.
I love it. I think it's an incredible show. Awesome, awesome people.
Yeah.
My son even worked on the first
That's awesome.
season of that. Yeah, so
Oh,
That's awesome.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
The most successful season.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. But
Yes.
Pastor Cal, yes, thank you so much for taking the time. Make sure y'all go search Marriage Ain't for Punks in your app store. Download that app.
Yes.
It's for everybody. It's 3 apps in one. Any last words you want our audience to know?
Guys, tune in for this season. This season is going to be great. So if you want to contact me on IG, I am Calvin Roberson. TikTok, I think it's the same. I'm actually on TikTok. But but contact me or go to marriageaidforpunks.com if you want to know more about that.
Awesome. And if you listen
Fantastic.
to this and you were wondering, like, oh my gosh, I'm listening to your voices and you weren't watching on YouTube, you can also find us on the RHAP YouTube channel. So definitely go subscribe there. Thank y'all so much for listening. And if you haven't already, go listen to our recap of episode 3 of season 18 of Married at First Sight. And thank you so much, Pastor Cal. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.